Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bregaton. Let's continue exploring the Neos Charmoidus system. Last deal. No thank you. Lord Captain, there was an incident on the flight deck. The planet we discovered is located at the coordinates of interest to the Honorable Ulfar, Angel of the Emperor. The moment he learned about this, he chose to abandon ship. He ordered a shuttle to be provided to him, and directed it to the world before us. We do not know where exactly he wishes to go, but the augurs have tracked the shuttle to its landing site. He stole the shuttle. How did this happen? Lord Ulfar simply showed up at the deck, drove the enforcers away, and demanded to be granted clearance for takeoff. Your servants became frightened, and dared not disobey his orders. Well, why have I not been notified of his actions right away? He forbade it, and the enforcers did not dare to defy an Angel of the Emperor. I am very sorry. Will all members of my entourage be stealing shuttles now? I fully share your indignation, Lord Captain. Such blatant abuse of the ship's resources is unacceptable. I understand them not standing up to an Astartes. I see. I apologize for having to bring you this troubling news, Lord Captain. Alright, before we land there, let's check out this planet real quick. Abandoned camp. Under thin clouds, as if shredded by a careless blade, sway vast steppes carpeted by pale gold deadwood. The Rogue Trader's attentive eye distinguishes a region among the endless grasses that does not fit into the general landscape. How about this giant Necron complex? The scouts on the shuttle see signs of intelligent life. Judging by the trampled soil and tent frames, someone made camp here. Distant silhouettes form a tangle of paths and obstacles. A maze. The outer walls are supplemented by a multitude of spikes and blades, and decorated with scraps of leather and withered crucified prisoners. It does not take an expert in xenoculture to reason that Drukhari have been here. I burn away all trace of Xeno's presence. Oh, I thought we could still explore after that. Well, that's okay. The predatory structures do not burn easily, but it takes a long time for them to heat up. When the flames finally gather strength, turquoise explosions flash amid the yellow-orange waves. Whatever was down there was dangerous. Yeah, I would expect the Drukhari to leave a trap behind. It's possible we're sending our scouts into a trap if we took that other option. Search expedition. A scouting party led by the Rogue Trader himself makes planetfall in the frozen world. The shuttle on which Ulfar Thunderlung departed this ship has been designated the starting point for the search. Said shuttle is found at the landing site, intact and undamaged. Examine the stolen shuttle. The machine spirit is in fine form, is ready to ascend from the world's surface. No clues have been found as to Ulfar Thunderlung's intended destination, but a keen-eyed scout sights several disturbed snowdrifts that may indicate the route taken by the Space Wolf. Let's scout out the area. The scouts discover numerous structures, burial grounds and obelisks of the Xeno race that once ruled these star systems, all of which are now encased in ice and solemn sepulchral stillness. No signs of activity by potentially hostile Xenos have been detected. Follow the trail. The group bravely ventures onward, into the realm of blinding white and crackling frost. The sky is soon blanketed with snow clouds that block out the star's light. The wind, howling like a pack of hungry spirits, sweeps away all tracks and whips up a furious storm. The path is full of dangers. A treacherous crevasse hidden under the snow's crust suddenly opens wide underneath the enforcer's feet. It is only the vigilance of the Lord Captain and his companions, we hear the telltale crack in time to save the soldiers from certain death. A few hours later, the expedition comes to a plateau. Rising up ahead is the dark hull of an Imperial trading vessel that once landed on the world's surface. Investigate the ship. The ship is identified as the Revelation Granted, the merchant cog commandeered by the baleful Howl and Footfall. No signs of struggle or other misfortune are found aboard, only some useful cargo in the hold. Contrary to expectations, no crew members are found dead or alive. The ship has been abandoned, and its fuel systems are non-functional. The Promethium is frozen solid and ruptured the tanks and pipes. The escalating storm sweeps over the group as if trying to bury them in darkness, snow, and obliterating whirlwinds. Send scouts to survey the area. The enforcers search the area and return without finding anything of interest. Not all of them return, in fact. Several seem to have lost their way and failed to make it back to the ship. Look for signs of Ulfar. Fresh tracks in the snow leading to the ship's airlocks indicate that he was here, and recently. However, he was not alone. The scouts find strange dips in the snowdrift surrounding the ship. It seems that someone was watching the ship from a position buried in the snow around the same time that Ulfar Thunderlung was searching it. Contact the ship in orbit. The raging storm makes it impossible to establish a Vox link with the rogue trader's vessel, leaving the expedition stranded without aid, but probably not for long. The officers on the bridge should have immediately dispatched help as soon as contact with the scouting party was lost. Decide which direction the search will go in next. In the raging blizzard, it is impossible to determine which way the Space Wolf might have gone. A pair of brave trackers strike out on a long-distance scouting run, and so have not returned hours later. Take shelter in the ship and set up camp. The Bone-weary soldiers welcome the chance to rest. Watchful sentries stand guard while their more fortunate comrades stuff themselves with the now frozen rations of the ship's vanished crew. The temperature inexorably plummets, but the brave enforcers, following the Lord Captain's example, staunchly endure the trial and do not lose heart. One of the sentries delivers an anxious report to the Lord Captain. He has seen a massive shadow in the darkness, and it was definitely not Ulfar Thunderlung. They go on the offensive. A squad of the best fighters, led by the Lord Captain, ventures outside the ship and scours the area twice. Unfortunately, the only result of their efforts is several squad members disappearing without a trace. Double the sentries. Despite the reinforcements, the sentries could not conceal their fear. The unknown has robbed them of their courage. A messenger rushes to the Lord Captain to report that one of the sentries is missing. Large tracks have been found near the sentry's post, as well as a few drops of blood. The fire is probably the correct option, but I'm going to explore everything. Arm everyone, and have them take up defensive positions. Casting food aside and rousing from fitful sleep, every member of the expedition prepares to fight and defend the blessed rogue trader. A terrible rumbling cuts through the roar of the storm, the clash and clamor of battle. It is followed by a furious, agonized scream. Send the party toward the sounds of battle as soon as possible. Tied together with ropes and bolstering each other with battle cries, the enforcers rush toward the battle in human chains. Unable to see anything ahead in the darkness and swirling snow, they blindly stride toward the source of the battle's monstrous thunder. The Lord Captain will personally rush into battle against the mysterious foe. Why can't I take this one? The Lord Captain charges forward, the soldiers rushing after him, and an eerie shadow blocks their path. It is cloaked by the snow and the dark, which turn into a barely discernible silhouette that emanates a promise of death. Clashing with the unknown enemy that cannot even be seen, the rogue trader deals several devastating blows, and then the malevolent foe hurriedly retreats into the blizzard. Ulfar is found lying in the blood-soaked snow, his body covered in grievous wounds, but the wolf continues to cling to life. With great care, he's borne to the shuttles and, wasting no time, brought back to the ship for urgent treatment. So I'm guessing the rest of his pack succumbed to the Wolfen curse. They attacked him and us, of course. And probably ate the crew from the old ship as well, which is why we couldn't find any remains or survivors. Where's he at? Voxmaster, okay. I saw... This says, inquire of the Voxmaster about Ulfar's health. I thought it said death. That did do a double take. And when you approach, Victus pulls away from fine-tuning another Vox and bows her head. Lord Captain, the ship informed me of our imminent meeting. Have the Vox Spirits brought you anything interesting lately? How's Ulfar? Has he regained consciousness? He's feeling better, Lord Captain. The ship's Chirurgeon was amazed at his resilience. The esteemed Lord Ulfar is currently convalescing in his chambers. I have a servant escort me to Ulfar's quarters. That makes sense. Ulfar did say that he's far more resilient than the typical space wolf. Or space marine in that case. Oh, that's cool. We're gonna see his armor get put on. Ulfar's dark figure towers over you. His head is lowered, his hair hanging in a curtain across his face. His fair skin is crosshatched with broad, crimson scars held together by metal staples, and covered with black, spiked runes for physical healing. Could an ordinary mortal have survived such injuries? Unlikely. The twitch of his fingers, Ulfar bids the two servants and attendants to step away, so as not to intrude on your conversation. They silently retreat. Eight-Fodder, I must thank you for saving me. I had a difficult battle. You stole my shuttle. I needed it. Ulfar looks at you with the mild surprise of someone who has rarely had to grapple with the notion of personal property. Why did you decide to go to that world alone? After a few moments of silence, Ulfar says quietly, So I did not have to bury your body in the snow, Eight-Fodder. It is not out of arrogance that wolves do not allow mortals into our affairs, but because the burden of those deeds is heavy, and they reek of death. Just consider what kind of threat you could have been facing, in a place where an entire pack of Astartes has disappeared. If I had risked you for the sake of fulfilling my vows, would that have been worthy of me? We fight together. Do not forget that I am your Eight-Fodder. Ulfar heaves a sigh, which seems to hang in the air between you. You and I are different. Your way is to rule and build, while mine is to destroy and chase down prey. Such is the Allfather's plan, and in that plan, my death on the battlefield is an expected and joyous event, while your death would be premature, sorrowful, and damaging to many other lives. Do you find any trace of your brothers? The vessel I found, revelation granted, that was them. Inside there were signs that wolf scouts leave for their brothers. The Belfahal landed the ship on the surface and left, and the rest of the crew disappeared. I followed my brother's trail until an unknown foe blocked my path, and battle ensued. What foe is capable of besting you in combat? Your wounds were truly terrifying. An evil spirit. It attacked me from behind and wounded me instantly. Ulfar points to a particularly gruesome scar on his chest, the strike clearly intended for one of the Space Wolf's 2 hearts. The wound gives off a strong medicinal smell, but it is not one you recognize. Probably a Fenrisian bomb brewed by Ulfar himself. Your healers would faint after one whiff of such a potion. The snow covered my eyes and I could only make out a shadow, but it moved fast and it was strong. If the Allfather's gift had not knitted my ribs into a hard carapace, that blow would have been my last. The wolf says these words with chilling nonchalance. I can still feel its claws in my chest, frost-shredding flesh. Wounds left by spirits are dangerous. They create a spiritual link between your body and its pernicious mind. The only way to heal such mutilations is to brew a potion from the blood spilt by the incorporeal bodies. The evil spirit wounded me too. And we are both marked. Our bodies will be tormented by its deadly touch until it is defeated. But fear not, Eight Fodder. We will defeat it. I swear it. Your pack seems to have led an entire ship's crew to their deaths. The wolf shrugged sadly. Do not blame us for what we are. Death always clings to the warriors of the Allfather, who are fated for no deeds other than those accomplished in the jaws of Mordkai. I see. Ulfar nods in agreement, his face grim. You are not your usual self. You seem more somber. By bitter paths comes wisdom, a wake of bloody losses and shattered dreams, heavy thoughts weighing on its broad shoulders. It enters unbidden and takes a seat by your hearth. Have you been thinking about your life? About the future? Have you ever wondered what it means to be an Astartes? To know no other family but your brothers in battle. To know no other feast but the joy of slaying your enemies and extolling your fallen comrades. To know with certainty that your death will be terrible, brutal, and agonizing. For time holds no sway over us, and no warrior of the Allfather has ever breathed his last in a soft bed. Death holds no fear for us, Eight Fodder. We've been eating at the same table since day one. Perhaps something good awaits you in the future. Listen, Eight Fodder. When the Wolf Priest tested me, I went to the Gate of Mordkai, a dark place where real space and the thoughts of the great wolves intertwine like the tentacles of a kraken. Everyone who appears before the gate is granted a vision, and mine was a dark omen. I saw myself in 2 guises. One as white as the moon, the other as black as the lowering sky, and the 2 are locked in combat. As for which me emerged victorious, that was hidden from my sight. But that is not what frightened me. The Black Wolf's gaze was fearsome, full of more pain than he could ever inflict on himself. It drove him mad, turning him into a monster. And as dark as he appears, I recognize myself in him. After all, I was made for destruction, torment, annihilation. I am the more agile monster. Does that mean that, by the Allfather's design, I must drink this cup of pain to the bottom in order to fulfill his plan? I do not know. Ulfar looks at you, his expression inscrutable. But tell me, why are there no rhymes in your songs? Rhymes are empty frippery. A saga must be alive. The words happen to fall into a rhyme, well, that is grand. But to make your whole story fit neatly into such a pattern, you must either twist the truth in the service of beauty, or live your life for the sake of a rhyme. Neither is to a wolf's liking. Our sagas are voices sounding through eternity. When we hear them, we do not hear stories. We hear the tellers, speaking their words to us now. Do you still believe you will find your brothers? I will find them. Ulfar clenches his fists. Probably not alive, but I will find them. Thank you for your answers. You have a right to them. Look around the chamber. I am pleased that my servants found a fitting shrine for your armor. The splendor and monumentality of the chamber befit the solemnity of the sacrament unfolding within. As if performing an intricate dance, the servants of the Omnissiah move in time with the murmuring mechanisms, circling the massive space wolf while he stands utterly still. The scent of sacred incense fills the air, giving the sense that one is witnessing a great ritual. An Astartes needs very little. A cell and a table where I can perform the purifying rite on my weapon. That is all I require. But to keep the armor bestowed upon me by the Allfather in some shabby cubicle would be sacrilege. This chamber will do well for the vesting ceremony. There's good plasteel beneath the rich decoration and gilding. Yes, I am satisfied. What are the servants doing? It is time for me to don my skin again. Ulfar shrugs warily, his body giving off heat and animal scent. One of the servants opens a casket containing contact unguent. It'll be used to anoint each of the black carapace's neural ports, marring the wolf's skin. The sacred augmentation seamlessly fuses Ulfar's body with his armor, and every fiber bundle of it. I feel flayed without it. Recently, I've been trying to remember what it is like to live without a skin. I can't. Too many years have passed. What will you do now? I must return. My foe awaits me. It would be dishonorable to retreat from this battle. But I'll need help in the fighting. You can count on me. I know, Eitvater. Ulfar nods to the servants, and in low voices to begin a guttural prayer. Shadows leap across the walls, twisting together in a majestic and savage dance. In the flickering candlelight, the sacred rite is performed. The angel of the Emperor is clothed in the armor of unwavering faith and his wrath. Ulfar, standing on a dais beneath the gilded vaults, resembles a cast metal statue of a space marine as seen adorning many temples. All that is missing is the armor. Sensing a task not yet complete, Macadendrite tentacles descend from the ceiling toward the wolf, preparing to begin the sacrament of vesting. The backpack is a repository of the mighty machine spirit that supplies the Space Marine's armor with the motive force. Its efforts ensure that the heavy armor does not burden the wearer, but rather multiplies his strength and endurance 100-fold. The skin of the wild beast conjures up images of a bloody battle between the one who now wears it and the creature from which it was taken. The resplendent armor of the Emperor's Angel, which has seen more than one battle and taken more than one ferocious blow in its centuries of service. I guess we go back to that planet and fight that spirit.
Let us raise our Fenrir.
Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Next time, I guess we wrap up Ulfar's quest, and then head to the next system. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.